Michelle, you're muted.
Thank you. That's so great. Hello. I'll be putting Kimbre's contact information including her email for the Creative Dreaming free 30-minute session that Kimbre offers, as well as her Facebook page called Dream Creators in the chat so you can connect with Kimbre directly offline. And now I'd like to introduce my friend and our presenter, Kimbre Hanson-Rodriguez. Kimbre is a prolific dreamer and creator with a capital C. She created and runs an active international dream community with dreamers from South Africa, all over Europe, New Zealand, Australia, South America, Taiwan, Israel, and of course, the United States. She will be sharing with you how your dreaming and waking self can work together to create what you would love in your life. Welcome, Kimbre.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. And to start, I don't see everybody here. However, how many people are recalling their dreams right now? That's one thing I'm curious about. Okay. Not really right now. That is very common. Most people do not recall their dreams, and so it's a sometimes recall their dreams, primarily because we live in a society where it's just not encouraged from the time that we're really little. And today the theme is nighttime dreams to daytime magic. So this is all about dreams, about some things that perhaps you hadn't considered before, or perhaps you'd like to know just a little bit more about. And so we can use our dreams to boost our creativity, to offer guidance, to offer help, just to get by in our lives. There's just so much that can actually be done with our dreams. And that's what I'll be covering today. As in the olden days, the tribes would use their dreams to go out and they would scout the surrounding territories just to see, hey, where can I get the best game? Where is the best place to live? So people throughout history have used their dreams in various ways. And it's only really more in the modern world that we have not been using our dreams in such a fashion. So I would like to start with sharing about my own story, my own use of dreams. And my story starts when I was a little girl, and I was a prolific dreamer. I dreamed all the time. I entered different dimensions through my dreams. I had all kinds of exciting things happen all the time with my dreams. And I would travel to other planets in my dreams. I would create things that I would see in my dreams. I had all kinds of wonderful things that would happen in my dreams. And I was not a child that really had a whole lot of nightmares like a lot of children do. I was more along the line of, if a dream scared me and the pirates are chasing me, I'm just going to chase them all right back. And so I learned really early that I could take a certain degree of control over my dream. I could actually make some decisions during my dream. And that was something that was really important to me as a child. However, I was told that I really needed to forget about all of that and just concentrate on that thing we call goals, because goals are what's important. So being told this over and over and over again, I started to concentrate more on goals, on things that are what we often call dreams in Western society. Well, that was okay. I did find that even though I was forgetting my dreams more frequently, that my dreams really weren't forgetting me at all. And every time that I needed their help or their guidance, or something had come up in my life, that my dreams came to give me that helping hand. One thing that really stood out during that time was when I was really unhappy in my 20s, and I decided that I was going to leave my body. So I rose up out of my body and I looked down at my body and I'm like, well, bye, I'm going away. I'm out of here, man. So I went up to what I thought was heaven. And in heaven, I was met by these beings, and these beings told me, well, you really don't belong here. What are you doing here? And I'm like, well, I just think this might be kind of a cool place to stay. So, can I stay for a while? And they were like, no, you really don't belong here. And you had a contract of some things that you had decided to do when you got here, and you have a purpose here. And you haven't even discovered what that is yet. So you need to go back. So rather disappointed, I flew back down to earth, entered my body again. They told me that things were going to get better, and indeed they did once I learned that I could take my own power back. So I entered my body again, and yeah, here I am. Okay, let's see what happens next. And I continued to have periodic bursts of creative dreams. Then, when I was living in Idaho for a period of time, I really, really badly wanted to come to Oregon. And there weren't really a whole lot of opportunities in Oregon at that time. So I was like, well, how am I going to get up to Oregon? I need to get a lot of experience in my field, da 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 da. And then I saw Wayne Dwyer on television, who talked about the power of intention. And I thought, well, I don't know. He seems like a really nice man, whom, by the way, later I began to have a lot of dreams about. Yeah, that's another story. He seems like a really nice man. And I think I'm going to try this intention stuff. So I tried the intention stuff, and I put it on my board, the intention of where I was going to be, that I was going to create this, and so forth. And I said it to myself every day, and I looked at it every day, and I embraced the emotion of it every day, embraced the emotion of the end result. And then I began to have the dreams. And the first one was incredibly powerful. It was a dream where I was in a very constricted place, which is how I felt about where I was at that time. And it was at the top of this house, very small rooms, very constricted, very tiny. I could leave those rooms, and I saw this long spiral staircase. So I walked down it, and I entered into this beautiful, expansive living room. And then through the living room, which had a sunken piece of living room, I wandered until I got to a door. And there was this beautiful glass door that opened into a garden. And the garden was the place where I was going to be. So I knew wherever I'm going, it's a garden. Then I had another dream. I began to have dreams about this town, more and more dreams about this town. There was a restaurant called the 411. I saw that one in my dream, and I saw this library, and I saw a person that I would be working with later in my dreams. I saw the entire downtown area in my dreams, one dream after another after another. So when I applied for the job and I came here, then I decided I was going to take a look at the town. I had family in the area. I was just going to take a look at the town. I'd never seen the town before. So I went out to see the town. I was absolutely stunned. This was the very town that I had seen in my dreams. It was just amazing. All the little details, all the flowers in the wind, like Europe, and the library and the fountain and the big sequoia tree next to the library that had been there for who knows, probably, how long they grow, but the kind you see in California. All of these details in amazing, amazing Technicolor were right in front of me. I see the person that I had seen in my dream, who was working the front desk at the library where I was going to be working as in a leadership position. I see her standing there. I go in the back. There's a child needing something, and I carefully go find what they're looking for. So I see all of those things within my dreams, and it's just amazing because it's beginning to kind of blend together, the dream and the wake, the dream and the wake, the dream and the wake, and it just gets to be really, really amazing. And then I wanted to create something a few years later with my husband. I wanted a husband. I wanted a life partner. And actually, I wanted to get married again. I hadn't been married in a long time. I hadn't had a partner in a long time. I wanted a partner. So I put an intention out there for a partner, and I began to dream again. And this time I saw this man, and this man wasn't in the sense of a great love of life or anything like this. This man was more along the line of just standing in front of a computer with a certain shirt on, and it was on a Skype call. And what was so interesting about that is just a little while later, I saw my husband standing in that same exact position with that same shirt right in front of Skype. And I was like, oh my gosh, what's that? And I was just stunned at the whole thing. And this kind of thing happened to me repeatedly, that I was dreaming the future, because that is one thing we do. We dream our futures. So that was really very amazing to me. So I was like, wow, I've met him. And then we began to progress a relationship, and I'd go to my dreams for advice about what to do and so forth. And I'd set intentions, and I work within various creative structures and that kind of thing. And I was astounded to see how well my dreams would play out. And I wanted to know more. And then in the pandemic, I began to dream even more deeply. And so at that point, I was like, okay, I've got to find out more about this. So I went out to find out more about it. And I found out that, hey, there's a lot to this, even beyond what I thought. And so I began to have some more powerful dreams. I took some lucid dreaming classes. I took various dreaming classes. I read a lot. And I began to set more powerful intentions for my dreams. And then in 2021, I had this amazing dream about something that my dreams wanted me to create, because the dreams come from our higher self. They come from a part of us, that deep part of us that really wants to express our heart into the world. So I had this dream about that. And in this dream, here I am. I'm at a dreaming conference. I don't feel like I particularly, it was like, oh, I wasn't dressed right. I wasn't doing, and I was like, oh, what am I doing here? I belong here. And I was really excited to be there. My husband was with me, and he says, are you excited? I said, yeah, I'm excited. And he says, look who's here. And there was this whole group of very powerful people in the back that were invited forward. One of the women stops where I'm at. She holds out her hand. She says, come with me. You're one of us. And I floated over the banister and joined us. And I found out later, when she asked me if I knew who she was, after taking me through this whole big dream scenario, she asked me, do you know who I am? And I said, no. She goes, I'm you. And that was the first of the dream that led to the creation of my group, my international group, Dream Creators. And since then, I had dreams about how to put together the group, and dreams about what to do with the group. So all the way through, I've been guided through my dreams. Now, there's many types of dreams, and I'd like to share with you some of the creative dream experiences of people through time who have worked with their dreams. For instance, there's Eli Howe. Now, Eli Howe was a really interesting fellow. He was someone who invented the sewing machine. And in his day, in the 1830s, there was no such thing as anything beyond the hand sewing. And he was working at a textile mill. He was a young man working at a textile machinist shop. And he had this idea that it was possible to automate sewing. And he could not, for the life of him, figure out, how do I do that? How do I do that? He kept trying different things, and they weren't working. He kept thinking inside of his boxes. You know, we all tend to do that. Dreams help us not, as they're way outside of the box. And so one of the dreams that he even tried to put his little needle with the eye right in the center, and that didn't work either. It just never occurred to him what he needed to do. And then he had this amazing dream, and in his dream, he was sitting in it was in a large circle, and he was with all these indigenous people who were warriors, very fierce warriors. And he was very afraid, because these fierce warriors were sitting there with their spears, and he was being led to the king. And the king looked at him. I command you, upon the pain of death, to come up with this invention now. Oh my gosh, I gotta come up with the invention now. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Ah! So he sat there feeling afraid. Then he began to notice something. He noticed that those spears, they had these little eyes, and they were actual eyes, and they were right at the bottom of the point, right here. Oh, that's the answer, he said. And so he got really excited. And at that point, he woke up, he went, and he immediately designed his machine, and voila, it worked. So there was a dream invention. There's many more like that. There is the inventions of James Cameron, the movie maker. Well, James Cameron, he has gotten many of his ideas from his dreams. One of his ideas was to create one of his ideas was with Terminator. He got a whole bunch of scenes for that from his dreams. And then another one was that he wanted to get some ideas for aliens. So he got ideas for his movie Aliens in his dream. His most powerful dreams, he thinks, and he's shared before, is when he created the original Avatar. And that dream happened when he was only 16 years old. So in this, he woke up, and I'll just kind of give you a quote here. He woke up and he sees this bioluminescent forest. And there's all these amazing trees. You remember Avatar? And he sees these fiber optic lamps, and there's this river and has all this glowing bioluminescent particles along the river. And there's this purple moss that's growing. Oh, that's so cool. This ground, and it lights up when you walk on it. And this is so cool. And then he sees these lizards. You remember those? And then and you could fly, and he sees all that. And he's like, oh my gosh. And then there's these rotating fans. Look at this. This is so cool. And they're like living frisbees. They're like frisbees. They were the life force. You remember the movie? And he sees all of this. They'd come and land in something. It was all in a dream. And he got so excited that he woke up and he drew it. And he thought, wow, it's just amazing. And then later, a dream gave him a warning that he needed to do a few things because there was a lawsuit coming. And he needed to protect himself. So the dream gave him information, what he needed to do to protect himself. And he did that because our dreams give us guidance as well, if we allow them to. Then there is a painter. Well, just some of you have heard of Leonardo da Vinci, right? Well, Leonardo da Vinci was a painter and an inventor, as you know, and he invented many amazing things long before they could be created. One of them was a kite that he saw when he was a little tiny boy. He saw this kite, and in this kite, he saw, how it was constructed and everything about it. He did drawings of it. And later, many hundreds of years later, it was found that this kite actually could be constructed. He had many machines like that. He also said that he dreamed his paintings, and this is a quote from him, and he paints his dreams. So he's able to do that as well. So that's super cool. And he talked about that. I actually went to see an interactive museum exhibit with him once that was very dreamlike, where you could see his paintings as if they were dreams. And in the background was all this sound of things that he would say, all as if it was within a dream. Then there's Scottish author Robert Louis Stevenson. Now that was a real character. That guy, he had nightmares as a child, and he was, kind of scared of all those nightmares. And so he figured he better do something about them. So what he decided to do is he was going to change them. This is something I do too. I call it dream alchemy, where you can change the content of your dream. But he decided that he was going to go and change those dreams and make them more what he wanted, that he was going to take some authority over his dreams. And he had something that he called dream brownies. And these dream brownies were these little elf-like characters. And they entertained him so much with his stories, with all their stories, that he would be sleeping at night, just getting entertained with story after story that he would write down in the morning. And he said, as he was the creator of books like Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, that type of thing, as he was Treasure Island, Kidnapped. Anyway, as he was reading these, he would be like he was reading these stories within his dream. These characters would come forward in his dream. The brownies were bringing more. And he said that every single time there was a publication deadline, that they sped it up. They sped up the delivery system. And so he had more information from his dreams. And so he would then write the stories, and he called them his brownies. God bless them, he said. They give me so much information. And then there is often music, music, art, so many things, science. Music is often comes to people in their dreams. And if you're a musician, you can get some fantastic music that you can then realize because you understand music to start with, because our dreams work together in conjunction with our daily lives. They don't work outside of them. They work in conjunction with them. So our music, the music that came to many, many dreamers, and there's stuff everywhere that's been created by people, their music from their dreams. One of the most famous being Yesterday by Paul McCartney. He dreamed, he said that little ditty, and it was such a pleasant little ditty that he woke up and he started playing it on the piano. And he played the whole thing and wrote it down, and there it was yesterday. The other Beatles as well, and John Lennon had a particular song that he absolutely loved, and he called it Dream, and it was a part of another album, number 9. I don't remember the full title, Wind and something. Anyway, his whole song of Dream came to him in a dream, and he absolutely loved it. So it has some dreamlike lyrics, because sometimes what happens in dreams is sometimes you'll get other languages, and other times you'll get words that don't mean anything in any particular language. However, they're a lot of fun. Any particular language that we know of, at least in modern time, who knows? There might be a language somewhere. So he got into his studio. He started recording really quickly his dream material. He was really particular about how the music sounded. He wanted it to have that dream-like sound to it. It was just glorious, he said. So he wanted to have that. He wrote down the lyrics. He wrote down the dream lyrics. And as he was recording the song, really excitedly all into going into this song, there's a pounding on the door, and bursting through is Capitol Records executive, and he says, "You cannot do this song." Why not? Because you're saying pussy. Pussy? Yeah, you can't do that. You cannot release to the American public the word pussy in a dream. So these lyrics in that dream song were changed to something kind of like a French poussé. So that's how that word was changed to make it available to the American public. And you can find, of course, this song in YouTube, Dream Number 9 by John Lennon. There's another dreamer that I just love. This is my favorite one because the story is really funny to me, since he didn't even believe in sleep. Now, can you imagine a dreamer that doesn't even believe in sleep? Well, that was Thomas Edison. And Thomas Edison was a super interesting character, and he would use what is called the hypnagogic state, that kind of in-between state. So he would enter into that light dream state to get ideas. And so what he would do is he would sit, on his pedestal, his chair or whatever. He would just sit there, and he would hold a steel ball within his hand. So he'd hold the steel ball within his hand, and then he'd will himself to go to sleep. I'm going to sleep now. So he'd will himself to go to sleep. And he would expect that something was coming out of this. And as he would hold the steel ball over this type of pail, and when he would drop it eventually, which he would wake up and he would record whatever came to him. And he would use this for problem solving techniques on the things that he was inventing, coming up with new ideas. He used it on in a continual realm. And he got many ideas this way. So if you think about this, if you were to try this, and this would be really amazing to try something like this. And I have not tried this. I guess I'm not brave enough. So hold a steel ball in your hand, and you don't have steel? No problem. Anything heavy will do for you. And you start sleeping if you can do that. Start sleeping, relax your grip, and drop the ball onto a steel surface, or you can drop it on even to the floor. Brave dreamer that you are. And then you're to wake up and immediately record whatever you get. And you might want to, in this particular setting, protect those feet of yours. You might not want that ball to hit those feet. So those are some of the amazing dreamers throughout history, and there's many, many, many more. I'm going to share, for the modern sake, that I know people that have created artwork with their dreams and lucid dreams even, and I know another person that does puppetry from his dreams. And as I said, I have created my group specifically for my dreams. It now has 108 dreamers, and they're from all over the world, all over the United States. And we have a bunch in Canada, we have in Europe, we have in Australia, New Zealand. Some of the most active ones are in New Zealand. And they're just from everywhere, and they're from every dreaming orientation. And we also have beginners in this. So I've set up a whole page where there's all this instruction for beginners. And so it shows you how to set up a dream recall, how to set up your dream journal, how to interpret your own dreams, because everybody has their own dream symbols. And then there's a whole lot of videos that have been done as topic sessions, because in my session, the people that are the more advanced dreamers can produce sessions like what we're having today. I call them topics, so they can present on a topic. So I've had people from Israel and New Zealand and various other places present on topics. We even had somebody from South Africa teach us how to do dream illustrations, and that was really cool because from there I began to do my own dream illustrations. So it's from everywhere, and it's really for anybody that has an interest in this. It's very positive and it's very inspirational. So it's a lot of fun, and people do have a lot of fun being a part of it. Okay, so we're going to go into a question here, and that would be about imagination. And that's before we go any further. And I'd like to ask you, what is imagination? Can anybody give me something about that? What's imagination? Anybody want to give their own impressions? I can't see anybody. Michelle, you'll have to kind of help them.
Isn't it just a creative thought?
Yeah, creative thought. I see here.
John is saying penning up to creativity.
Pretty. Could be that. Creative thought.
I said comes from my child within.
Very nice. The child within.
Oh, John, opening up into creativity.
Opening up into creativity. That's good. Opening up into creativity. Excellent. Okay, anybody else?
There you go.
There we go. Excellent.
There's an
So
element of,
I'm
like,
going to say that,
visualization.
oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. I must have a delay. I unmuted and I was just gonna say, I feel like there's this aspect of like visualization to it for me at least. Right.
Yeah. And what do we do when we are in our imaginative space? What do we do?
We dream.
Anyone you want to make a guess on that one?
We gaze.
We gaze. What do we do when we're children?
We illustrate it, we play it out.
Daydreaming.
Yeah. And we make it up. We make it up. We have been told so often that, you're just making it up. We tell our children that. That's the imaginal realm. We make it up. We step into that higher part of ourselves and we make it up. We just allow it to come to us. We make it up. We have it. It's fun. It's delightful. It's not heavy at all. It's easy. We make it up like we did as we did when we were children. And this is what we're doing in dreams. We're writing. We're performing our own dream dramas, whether or not we remember them. And we're using our imagination in the daytime. We can do this. And all these things that are being fed to us within the daytime, these go into our nighttime and we begin to make up stories. So our dreaming self is producing 5 or more stories a night for us and is giving us, even if we don't remember them, we're getting stuff with those little intuitive flashes you have, for instance. Those are likely from your dreams. These are just little things that are left over, like little whispers from your dreams. So when we're children, we make things up and then we're told, oh, you're just making that up. You're just lying. And when you're in your dreaming space, that's really what you want. You want to make it up. You can't get out of the box. You're not able to get out of the box if you're not able to open up the realm of imagination and just allowing yourself to make it up. What's obvious? What's obvious here? And that's where we can go with our dreams. So, you've experienced, for instance, with dreams, the dream images before falling asleep. Everybody at some point or another has these dream images. They're very valuable, these dream images. They will offer keen insight. So what Thomas Edison was doing is he was entering that pre-dream state. And that's a really cool state when it comes to creativity. And you can do this imaginatively as well. So he was entering that kind of light dream state. And that's where we'll get an awful lot of insights. If we take to that space, I would like answers about, I wish to know more of those kinds of questions, the open-ended questions. And then those things come to us. we can use these imaginative insights during our day. We can choose to remember our dreams. So it's something that we do need to make a choice about. So I am going to invite you in just a moment to pick. So be thinking about this for a moment. Just pick a memory. Everyone has a memory. So if you don't have a dream, just pick a memory or pick something with a juice in it. And in a moment, we're going to do something with that. So just think of something. And before then, I would like to ask you what is there anything that's landed for you on this so far? Is there anything that insights that you hadn't seen before? Anything new to you?
You actually made me realize that I do future dream. There's times that I'll go to a place and I have dreamed it.
Mhm.
And however, what's really interesting is there's never any people in it. I get there and I'm like, in my dream, there's nobody ever in the dream, however, just the buildings and stuff. And then when I actually get to the place, I'm like, gosh, it's deja vu. It's like I've been here before. And
Mhm.
suddenly I realized I had dreamed of this place.
Yeah, that's very common. We often are dreaming of places before we see them. And place figures very heavily into dreams. So if you are coming out of a dream, for instance, and you want to know, I dreamed something, only I don't remember what it is, you can ask, where was I? Where was I a moment ago? And this will often jog a memory. Yeah. So yes, these flashes of insight, these flashes of deja vu, they're often things that we've dreamed before. Anyone else? Anything landed for you? What's landing? Okay. Well, let's go ahead and do the exercise. So what I want you to do is think about that memory, that dream, if you have a dream, something with some juice in it for you, something you would like to know a little more about, something like that. You want to know a little more about this. Okay. And this is going to be a closed eye exercise. I'm going to take you through a little mini meditation where we're going to go into a type of dream space. And you can do this during the day as well for imaginative insight. So we're going into a place you've been before. This is the place of your dreams. This is the place of your insights. And this place can be very beautiful and dreamlike if you're willing to go there. It's beautiful. And I'm going to refer to this place as innocence, that sense of wonder you had when you were a child, where it's before definitions or meanings, just this place of openness and wonder. That's where you're going. In this place, nothing is ruled by what you think or what you feel is real. Nothing is ruled by that. Rather, this is the place where our dreams live. And you can go there, where imagination can take us to glorious heights. I'd like you to just go there. And now you'll see something. There's an image that's calling to you. Calling. What is it? Take a moment to bring it forth. What is the image? What is the image? What are the sounds here? What do you hear? What else do you see? Is there something you can reach out and touch? If so, touch it. Feel it. Feel the textures. Feel the textures. Is there a scent? That element drawing you to it. Something you've never seen before. There's an element here. You've never seen this before. This one's new. Maybe it's a person. It could be a person or an animal or a new scene or even an object. Something special just to you, just for you, a gift. It symbolizes something to you. A symbol, old or new, or both. What is it? You can make it up. You get to make it up through this place of imagination. Imagination is the language of the soul. Imagination is the language of the soul. Now open your eyes, and whatever you received, whatever it is, jot it down or just put it to your memory if you don't have a pen with you right now. Whatever it is, whatever comes to you. How was that for all of you?
For me, I found myself having fun and kind of giggling and finding a kind of a newfound freedom. It was really fun. Actually, I really enjoyed it. Thank you.
Welcome. And dreams are certainly meant to be that. They're meant to be, we can have them be fun. Fun. Yeah, I love that. I love that. Thank you. Anyone else?
I noticed that I jumped around a little bit. I went into my house that I'm gonna build, and I was there at that, and then I would jump to a memory of my mom.
Mm-hmm.
And so I jumped around a little bit on that.
Dreams do that too. They jump around. They don't work in a regular narrative, but that is an imaginal place. So it's a good place to play with. Very good.
Yeah, well.
Anyone else?
One thing you mentioned, Kimbre, that I want to say out loud is that dreaming is not linear, and so much in our life is linear, the way we drive, the way we walk, and things like that. And so for me, I got to I experience other shapes and dimensions, and that's really something that's new to me. Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, sometimes I've ridden within light beams in a dream. There have been times like that, not knowing who I am. And the more, as Michelle was saying, we leave that linear beside. That's where our imagination opens up from. A lot of times we're working on solving a problem, and yet we're stuck within that box of the problem. And dreams open us up to new possibilities. And we get to explore and go into shapes and colors and something way beyond what we normally experience in our day-to-day conscious life. Anyone else? Okay.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead, Susie. Please go ahead.
I found myself in a place of stillness and peace. And I think it's a good indication of where I need to spend more time. Instead of the doing that life brings me, or that I bring into my life, I should say. And so that was kind of nice. And I can see how doing this, even without going to sleep, would be helpful.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
Sure, most certainly. And it's true, we don't need to fall asleep to dream. We can actually do this type of activity within our imaginal day space when we put ourselves into that light dreamlike space. So though dreams are very valuable on the deeper sleep dreams, we can also do this on another level and get that type of feeling. And dreams certainly bring us and can bring us a great deal of peace and slowing down. Our modern world tends to be very fast, and dreams invite us to slow down. I never use an alarm clock, and most of my best dreams occur early in the morning. Anyone else? Okay. So I am going to be working on wrapping up here so we can go to questions if you have some questions. And in my Dream Creators group, as I said, I go through a lot of processes. There's a lot there we have in Guide. It's set up to be an educational group. It's set up for people who would like to explore their own dreams. It's set up so that people can actually get started. And I also coach people on using their dreams in their day-to-day lives and going from what their own desires are. And the session is a 30-minute session, as Michelle was mentioning. And I usually charge about $100 for it, only I'm offering complimentary at this time. All you have to do is email me and we can set up a creative dreaming session where we can explore your dreams. And it's really a lot of fun, this call, because it's not like, it's a call where you actually go away with a real gift that you can use in your daily life. So if you would like to do that, or if you're interested in joining Dream Creators, where we have a lot of wonderful stuff, daily inspiration, quotes, dream creators, oh my gosh, lots of dream art. And it's just a very fun, interactive group with dreamers from all over the United States and other countries. And so it's just blast. And so of course I would invite all of you, even if you feel like you're not dreaming right yet and would like to explore a little bit, it is set up to do that. And you can also reach out to myself or to other members. And I generally reach out to newcomers, particularly when I understand that there is, that perhaps it's a new thing to you. So if there's any questions, you can always ask me. I'm available either through the email or in Messenger. My name is easy to find, and Michelle is providing the Dream Creators link as well. And so it's something that certainly we'd be delighted, my group and I would be delighted to have all of you. There's a warm welcome and everybody's meant to feel like they're just a part of a little community, and it is a little community, and it is a blast. It's truly a blast. I look forward to it every day. So now is the time that I'm opening up to questions. According to our time frame here that I'm looking at, are there any questions that anyone has?
Kimbre, on your website, on your dream creators, tell me a little bit more about the community. And so are people posting about their dreams? Are they making intentions about dreams and following up on that? Can you say a little more?
Well, there's all different types of dream styles in here. So you have people that are very much into the past life thing. For instance, there are dream teachers, and there are people that are beginners. There's people, everybody in between. The community has a metaphysical bent, as would be understood with the dream community, although not everybody there. We have lucid dreamers, and so there's all different types of styles of dreaming. I call what I do creative dreaming. It's my own specific thing. However, there's people that are in the Jung camp, and there's people that are in some camp that's called the Sethian camp, where because it's a channel for many years ago, 40 books written, lots of stuff on dreams. So we have a lot of people from that. They're from really everywhere. And some people are like that, and other people are exploring their dreams. There's lots of things that people will write and share about dreams, either their own or just little things that they come across that they want to share, or maybe a piece of music. So it's really all over the board. And of course, you have a lot of people that just check in daily because they want their daily burst of fun and inspiration. And the one thing I can say about the group is it's just fun. It's fun. It's not meant to be some deep, serious thing where you're adding another work task to your day. For those of you that really are in that, like that Enneagram 3 orientation of the success work all the time type of orientation. So it's not like that. It's just a group that is just there to have fun with our dreams, and we chat with each other. And then some of us have become friends throughout all of this. So I get to meet sometimes with some wonderful dreamer from New Zealand, and we'll just set up a chat so we can talk about our creative projects and various things. So there's people all over the board. Not everybody's the same. It's not a uniform group. And it's highly unusual for a dream community because most dream communities follow an orientation. I follow no orientation. I'm an anti-guru sort. I tend to go with everyone has their own inner wisdom and has their own knowing within themselves. And I just help people tease that out.
That's wonderful, Kimbre. Suzanne, thanks for she put just your email address in, and I also again put in the whole verbiage about your email and where to find you. And I love like hieroglyphics that you have on your little icon on your Facebook page. So you'll see that when you look her up. And just thank you for your time. And if anyone has other questions, definitely can ask Kimbre now. Otherwise, we can take a break and be back again at the top of the hour.
Yeah, I see 3 more minutes. So there's a few minutes left for questions.
So I have a question. It's interesting. Sometimes I dream about people and then the next day it's their birthday and I didn't know. Or, it's funny because I go in like multiple different places in what seems a short amount of time. And is that more of a psychic sense, or is it, I don't know if that's what it is. And if so, how do you explore that?
Okay, well, the one question here is seeing things ahead of time, correct?
Yes.
That's common in dreams. We're dreaming our future all the time, sometimes decades out, which is why it's good to keep a dream journal.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the second question is a little bit different. Would you repeat that piece, please? Because there were 2 different questions here.
Yeah. As far as seeing something in the future, but also I feel like I go in different places, so it covers different aspects of life. So it's hard to journal that because then, sometimes I remember, sometimes I don't. And which part went first and doesn't matter.
Well,
So-
here's with dreams, we do dream. I've had dreams where I'm moving through time. I do a lot of time traveling in dreams. So, you know, the first sometimes it can be in different sections. The main thing is you just get it down. You get something down in your dream journal. I have it set up in the group about how to set up a really great dream journal. And you can also nowadays do this electronically. So you can get an actual recorder and just record it into an app and goes into your computer. That's one thing that some of the members like to do. I tend to prefer the old-fashioned journals that have a table of content and the whole thing. So where it occurs is not so much really as important as what it means to you. And each one of us has our own special dream language, our own, and it changes as we change in our lives. So it's not going to be a uniform thing that's this, or it's not going to be that the symbol is always this, which is why dream, journal dictionary things don't usually work for a lot of people. They can be a start sometimes to kind of help you go. Its first thing is that where was I and what does this place mean to me? What does this mean to me? So it's mainly just getting it all down, starting just getting it down, getting whatever impressions. You can do it in outline form because some people are very happy with outlines. Some people just do drawings. I have some dreamers that really don't write, like I'm a writer, so I like to write. However, we have other people that like to draw. One person who prefers videos occasionally. So whatever format works for you, but you just jot down something and then you can ask yourself a question with this. So here's some questions that might be useful to some of you regarding this. When you come out of a dream, the first thing is, where was I? So where were you? You got this location. And then you find out, what does that location mean to me? You can pretend that you set a dream figure in front of you if you have a dream figure, or even if the place is a dream figure, remember it's a symbol. You can step into something like a higher awareness circle, something you draw and say, this represents this, this represents this. What does this mean to me? What does this mean? And just go into that imaginal frame and let the meaning come to you. What's obvious about it? Because something will come to you. It always does. And if it doesn't come to you right then, you just leave it and come back to it. But my guess is that there is something there for you.
Great, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Great, Kimbre. Again, thank you so much. Y'all know how to reach out to her. Just appreciate you taking your time and educating us and really giving us a little bit more to think about and dream about and be inspired about. And yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you everybody for spending some time with me and listening about dreams. Dreams are something I'm passionate about. So super exciting to share with people that are not regular dreamers. Mostly I share with dreamers. So this has been super fun. Thank you.